Hi, I'm Scott Baxendale, and I own Baxendale Guitar here in Santa Fe, New Mexico. This is the first video of a video series I'm producing on Luthier and Luthier techniques. We're going to get into the history of guitars, the history of guitar repair and restoration. We're going to get into techniques. We're going to get into the Baxendale Conversion Process, which is my trademark proprietary remanufacturing process that transforms vintage department store guitars into new world-class vintage guitars. We're going to get into that. We'll talk about the history of the business and some of the trials and tribulations I've been through this over the last 50 years. And this should be a fun video series. We're going to expand eventually, and we're going to get into some more detailed videos that will go into specific master luthier techniques. And but this is the first video of this series. And in this video, I'm going to demonstrate this custom guitar that I built in 2003. This is a 16-inch jumbo. My very first good guitar that I ever had was a Gibson J-185 in the early 50s that I bought for $235 when I was in college. That guitar changed my life, and eventually I became a guitar builder, and at some point I had to sell that guitar, and then the values of that particular model have gone through the roof to where I couldn't even afford one today if I wanted one. And so this guitar I built in 2003 is a tribute to my first Gibson J-185. So it has a lot of J-185 features in this guitar, including 16-inch small jumbo, these Maltese crosses. The inlays are an advanced version of what the inlays were in the J-185. It's the same body shape. I've made it out of rosewood instead of maple, however. And it's got a mahogany neck, and it's got Baxendale headstock with a fleur-de-lis. A lot of people call this the Gibson open book headstock, but this design was around long before Gibson. Gibson wasn't the first one to do this design, nor are they the last. In 2003, I built this guitar because I was invited to go to the Museum of Making Music out in Carlsbad, California, because they were featuring a guitar that I built a few years earlier, the Warner Brother guitar, which I built for Travis Tritt. And that guitar was the fanciest guitar I ever made, and I'll show some pictures here of that. That guitar lived in that museum for over a decade, and I built this guitar prior to me going out for that museum event, and that was in 2003. So I've been playing this guitar ever since. This is one of the few guitars I built as my personal guitar, and so I'll often be using this guitar out on stage. One interesting feature about this guitar is it has a more advanced bracing system in it, which I call perimeter weighted bracing. Now, as we get into the Luthier videos, we'll get into more about my bracing design, how my bracing works, why it works the way it works, and why this more advanced version called perimeter weighted bracing gives the guitar certain qualities that you wouldn't not normally get out of standard bracing. A few days ago, we had the pleasure of Eric Henderson dropping by the shop. Eric is an amazing guitar player and owns a couple of guitars that used to belong to Andres Segovia, and he's a classical and jazz and can play pretty much anything. And he came in and tried out a few of our guitars, especially this guitar, and so now here's that video.